So hey there guys, so today's video is going to be trying to finish my Halloween TBR slash my October TBR, and these are the books that I'm going to be reading in this video. It's always hard to like pick them up, but here we go. I'm actually refilming this intro because I changed my mind on a couple of the books that I wanted to put in this video, because originally, I really wanted to read the Glimmer Falls trilogy, which is like the Demon Witch's Guide to Fake Dating a Demon. And I wanted to read those, but I really want to read those. But I might just try and squeeze those into either November or December. If I want like an easy series to read, like in between like the fantasy series that I'm going to be reading, then maybe. And I don't know why I keep on putting off those books, but I figured, or I should honestly, read the books that are really Halloween themed and basically like take place during Halloween. Because if I don't read those books this week, I'm not gonna be able to read them until like next Halloween, and I really don't want to do that. So I'm like, I was thinking about it this morning because of course I couldn't sleep, and I'm like, I really need to just read the books that I already have that are Halloween books. And those other books I can read at like any time of the year. So we're just going to go through the books that I really want to read in this video. So the first one is Murder in the Family by Kara Hunter. As I'm filming this, I actually did already finish this book. So we already did finish one book, but you guys will see my thoughts on this one after this. This is the only like crime kind of thriller that I have in this video. Mostly the other books are all witchy books, but I did want to read at least one more thriller before October was over. Honestly, I'm not really finding thrillers that have been scratching my thriller itch, but I wanted to read this because it was pretty fast paced. So I ended up reading that. But that was the first book in this video. And now the second book, which I'm actually currently reading, is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This one says, a warm and uplifting novel about an isolated witch whose opportunity to embrace a quirky new family and a new love changes the course of her life. I'm on page 51, because I just started it last night, so I'm already on page 51, and I think that this is hysterical so far. I'm really liking it. It's like the absolute perfect atmosphere for this week during the last week of October and during like Halloween. So I'm really happy that I decided to go with this one first. And also, out of all the books that I'm going to be talking about, this is actually the highest rated one. This one has a 4.10. The rest of the books that I'm talking about all have under 4 on Goodreads. So this is actually the highest rated book, and I can see why, because I'm already having a great time with this, and I want to go back and read this like so badly. Like, I've been thinking about it all morning. I'm like, I can't wait to go back to reading this, so I'm really excited for that one. Okay, and then the next 4 are like pretty much all Halloween themed books, and I was like, I really should read this book before the month is over. So I think I'm gonna read this over the weekend, and this one is Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. I'm like, if I don't read this now, I am not going to read it, and I'm not going to be in the mood to read this whatsoever. So I'm like, definitely going to be reading this one. It says, there's one hex of an attraction in this romantic comedy from New York Times bestselling author Jessica Clare. When Reggie Johnson answers a job ad in the paper, she's astonished to find that she's not really applying for work at her favorite card game, Spellcraft, the Magicking. Instead, she's applying to be an actual familiar for an actual witch, as in real magic. So this is going to be a fun one too. That one is actually a first one in a series, but I didn't really feel like it was necessary for me to continue the series anytime soon. I'm probably not even going to pick up the second book until like next September or October, when I'm ready for Halloween books again. Like, that was not a series I was like so concerned on, oh my god, I have to read the next book. It's not really a huge deal. This one I'm going to add into this video. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to it, but this one is really short. Like all three of these ones are really short. I might be able to finish all three of them. So the next one is The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. I think I've owned this one the longest out of all of these books, by Brianne Randall. And out of all these books that I own, this one has the most mixed reviews. Like a lot of people don't really like this, but I don't know. I was so intrigued on picking this up when I actually got it. And this one says, for fans of practical magic and Gilmore Girls, The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic is a charming debut novel that explores the shields we build around our hearts to retain our own magic. So I think I'm going to try and read this probably Monday, because like I said, I think Go Hex Yourself will take me the weekend, but I'll probably finish it like by Sunday, maybe morning, because I am going to be out with my best friend on Sunday. So maybe I'll be able to start this one that night, or I am definitely going to start this one that night. So I should be able to finish this by Monday night, because again, it's super, super short. It's only 300 pages. So all three of these books that I'm picking for the last week of October are all 300 pages long, so they kind of work out perfectly. I think the longest book I have to read, besides Murder in the Family was actually the longest book I read for this video. It was 465 pages, but the format was so easy to get through because it was all like interview format. The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches is only 316 pages. The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic is only like 307 pages, I think. Or maybe like 310 pages. And Go Hex Yourself is like 360 pages. So that's why I'm going to read that one Friday, depending on when I finish the Irregular Witches book. But I am going to start Go Hex Yourself tomorrow if I don't finish this book that I'm reading today, because this book's only 300 pages. I was hoping to finish it today, but we'll see. And then the next two books that I'm going to read for Halloween are going to be The X-Hex by Erin Sterling. I, of course, had to pick this one. And also the second book, The Kiss Curse. So we're just going to be reading these two during Halloween, and I thought that these were absolutely perfect. So, I basically had to kind of compromise this list a little bit, because I'm like, I'd rather finish these two books during Halloween, because again, this one's only 308 pages. It's going to take me like no time to get through. And then this one, The Kiss Curse, is like the same length. I actually really appreciate that these books are super short, and the second one isn't longer than the first one. It's actually a page shorter. So, and again, these are just absolutely perfect for Halloween. So yeah, I'm really excited about this list. Again, these ones aren't that highly rated, but they're definitely more highly rated than The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. And this one says, never mix vodka and witchcraft. 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like any young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on the horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivi knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchid hayride scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. So, definitely reading this probably Tuesday, depending on when I finish Go Hex Yourself, and The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. And then most likely going to just be reading this one all day on Halloween, so, which will be great. Again, I should be able to finish these pretty quickly, because again, they're only like 300 pages. So, yeah, I think I'm happier about this list. And it's still like 6 books that I'm going to be reading. So, my goal was to finish 10 books on my Halloween TBR. But I think I am going to finish that list. Also, Out on a Limb was kind of on it because it took place during Halloween. So I read The Boyfriend, I read Phantasma, I read The God of the Woods, I read Immortal Dark, I read Murder in the Family. I also read Cackle over the weekend. That was not technically on my Halloween TBR, but I wanted to read it during October, so I'm going to count that one as well. And then I also read The Teacher. I guess you could kind of technically count that one, but that one was just because I was in a Frida McFadden mood, so I'm not really going to count that one. And then the rest of these will be more than 10 Halloween books. So I think I actually did really good. I think I am finishing almost half of my list. There are still quite a few books up on the shelf. But after I finish these 5 books, I think it'll be like 11 or 12. So then it's going to be great. So yeah, I will check in with you guys once I finish The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, but the next clip you'll see is me finishing Murder in the Family. Okay guys, so I just wanted to let you guys know that I just finished my first book in this video, which is Murder in the Family by Kara Hunter. I just finished it literally right now. It only took me like a day and a half to finish this, and it was okay. Like, honestly, I wasn't really like feeling like compelled to finish this. Like, I almost wanted to not even bother. But I was like, let me see like who actually killed the person. And then when you actually did find out, it was like almost like too absurd that like I didn't really care anymore. So, and even though this is not really like a typical thriller, it's more like a crime mystery, I still don't think it was well done enough for me in order to be like, you know, I was kind of curious again as to why this book wasn't really being talked about. And I was like, because it's not very good. So I read it. I don't regret reading it. You know, again, I'm still having a really good reading month. But like I said, like the thrillers that I've been picking have just not been hitting. I thought that this would be it for me. I thought that this would be a fun, bingeable read. But the only reason why I recommend it is because it doesn't really take that much brain power, again, because it's just so easy to read this type of format, with it being in like this interview kind of format, because it basically takes place over like just being a crime documentary, pretty much. It's like a true crime kind of documentary, and like this is basically like the full script of like the family members like being interviewed, and that's basically it. That's the only way it takes place. And then there's like a couple of like, you know, news articles in it about talking about the show, which is really cool. And then there's also like a review of the show, and then there's also like, you know, ads of like the different suspects that they think is like, so they're like all the faces of like the suspects and like what they do and like their employee profile and stuff, which is really cool. And then there's like text messages and like email format, so it was really cool to read that way. And then there's like voice memos and like voicemails and the filming schedule of everything. But I just wanted to show you one more thing, which is also pretty cool. I think it's probably right here. Yeah. I think it's like at the beginning of this chapter, where there's an email, and then there's like a Facebook group kind of chat and like comments. And so I think that was really, really cool. I really did enjoy the format of this book, but the story was just like not compelling enough for me to be like edge of my seat and be like, who did it? Who did it? Who did it? And that's how I wanted to feel. Like, I don't know if crime mystery thriller is supposed to be a little bit more tame, but it was like too tame, where again I just didn't really care anymore. So I'm gonna give this a 3.5. It just didn't really do it for me. It was neither here nor there. But I don't regret reading this. It wasn't a bad book. I might just give it a 3 stars, though. I don't know if I even really want to round it up, because, yeah, I think I'm going to give this 3 stars, which, again, is not a bad rating. Like, again, I've been having like such a good reading month. It's just maybe I wanted to give it a 3.5 because I didn't want to rate anything lower than a 3.5 because honestly that was my lowest rating with the teacher this month. But I think I'm going to give this a 3 stars. Again, it wasn't bad, and again, I'm still having a really good reading month, but it was just okay. So it is what it is. We still finished one book in this video, so that's great. So then we are going to move on to a witchy book, and I'm very, very excited to read this one. And this one is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. And like I said, this book is only like 300 and something pages. It's not even that long. It's 316 pages. So I'm going to try and binge this tomorrow. I am going to start this tonight. I mean, it's technically the next day, and I kind of want to finish a book in a day, and I do want to get that prompt done, and I think that this will be a very easy book to do that with, because again, it's only 316 pages, and if I start it in like an hour or so, and get like maybe 30 to 40 pages in, then I can just binge the rest of it tomorrow, and I think that will be good. So yeah, I will check in with you guys when I finish this book. Wanted to let you guys know that I did finish the second book that I wanted to read in this video, which is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This book was so perfect for this time of year. Like, I cannot recommend a cozy witchy read enough. This was just so good. I really enjoyed this. It was so surprisingly really funny. And it covered a lot of like mental health issues, like dealing with depression or like finding yourself or like finding your place in the world pretty much. And I felt like Micah was not she was kind of just a character that she was very fearful of living as a witch because her mentor, basically, which was Primrose, was telling her that the only way you can survive as a witch in the world is if you live alone. So, like, basically, she could only really rely on herself, and she had, like, a companion of, like, a dog, like a golden retriever, and his name was Cersei. Or maybe her name. I can't remember if it was his or her. And then she had like this koi pond where she would literally just like magic it around on wherever she would go. And like she's basically hired to be like a witch teacher to like these 3 witches that live in this house that is like very hard to find. And she like her name is Micah, and she posts like these videos online, like basically on YouTube, of like witch potions that she brews and stuff, because like the more and more like she makes people like disbelieve that she's a real witch, the easier it is for her to live. Like if she can make people believe that she's like a fake witch, it's actually like better for her. But she actually is like doing like real spells, and it's just like really funny. So basically, like, this family reaches out to her and like emails her and asks her to go like to this cottage to basically train these 3 witches to like hone their power. I kind of wish there was like a bit of an epilogue in this, but at the same time, this is not a standalone book. The second book is coming out next year, so that's why I really did want to read this as like my first witchy book in October. But again, I really did enjoy enjoy this. There was a lot of found family in this because she basically was not raised by her parents, and the same thing with the three witches that lived in this house. They were raised by like basically the people that were like the staff in this house, because this house was actually run by another witch named Lillian. But Lillian's always traveling and she's always like far away. She only comes back to the house like every couple of months, and she only will stay for like a couple of weeks and then she'll go out traveling again. So basically Micah is hired to take over like Lillian's place when Lillian is away, and she's able to live there for like a couple of months. And basically like this family is like the first family she's ever had, even though she's working for Lillian. She's never met her. And then there's like so much stuff that happens like towards the end of this book that makes it like just so funny and absurd, but also just like such a fun time. So I had a really good time with this book. I would definitely recommend this. I can see why this is so highly rated, because it was extremely well written. I really, really liked it. There was like a tiny bit of smut in it, but honestly, it was only like 4 or 5 pages. But this just did not feel rushed whatsoever, and I felt like the chemistry between her and Jamie so much that you just like every time they talked to each other, it was just like, oh, it was just like so adorable, their interactions. So even though I don't know, she just like did such a good job of writing their story, and I just really liked it. I'm hoping this is a female author. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not sure if Sangu is a male or female name. Let me look that up really quick before I say any more. But I just wanted to give you guys my rating, and I'm rating this a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. This was one of my favorite books that I've read the past week or so. I really did enjoy this, so I'm so glad I decided to read it. It only took me like a day and a half to read. I think I read like 220 pages yesterday, and then I just had another like 95 pages to bang out today. So I just finished that literally just now. I just finished it like 10 minutes ago. So let me just look up real quick who the author is. Just pull it up on Goodreads. Yes, it is a female. Okay, good. I don't know what else she's written, but I really do like her writing. She hasn't really written much else, but it's mostly like fantasy kind of stuff. But obviously, I just added the second book to my want to read. I don't know how I didn't. But it comes out April 29th of next year, so I'm definitely 100% going to be reading that. It's called A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I don't think it concentrates on the same, it does not concentrate on the same character, on the same main character. So yeah, really enjoyed this. And now I'm going to be going into this book, which is so funny because this is probably the lowest rated book that I have to read in this video, when I just read like the highest rated witchy book, and now I'm going to be reading the lowest rated. But I don't know, I've seen so many mixed reviews about this, but I'm still very intrigued by it. So I will see whether or not I like this and whether or not I'm going to DNF it. But I don't really DNF books, and I get through books to review for you guys. So this one is The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brienne Randall. Even if I don't enjoy it too much, I don't see myself rating this lower than a 3-star, most likely. I mean, no book can be as bad as Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. That's still my least favorite book of all time. So I guess we will find out. We can't read bangers all the time. Like I said, I've been having a really, really good reading month. I feel like this vlog is going to be kind of all over the place with my reviews. So yeah, we'll see what we think of this one, and I'll check in when I'm finished with it. Okay, so hey there guys, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish the third book in this video, which is The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brienne Randall. And I actually really did enjoy this book. I really don't know why it has such low ratings. I am giving this book a 3.75 out of 5 stars. I didn't enjoy it quite enough to be 4 stars, but because I did think that the first half of this book was stronger than the second half kind of felt like a little bit too dragged out. It honestly probably could have been like maybe like 20 pages shorter. Like honestly, I feel like this book could have been like 308 pages rather than like 320 pages or like a little bit over 300 pages, but overall, I actually really did enjoy it. I think people's misconception of this book, which is for good reason, because honestly, this is not a Gilmore Girls small town vibes kind of book. It is not whatsoever. So I feel like they put that, like comparison into and what's so funny is that literally I just read The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and it says readers who love the magic of the particular sadness of lemon cake and the sense of community found in the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches will enjoy this warm witchy novel. And I wasn't going to read this in this video, and then I decided to fit it in, and I didn't even realize that they compared it to literally the book that I just read before this. So again, things are just working out. I don't know why that happens to me sometimes. I like literally did not know. But yeah, I feel like they put like the Gilmore Girls comparison small town kind of vibe. Like not every single full book has to be compared to Gilmore Girls. I don't even watch Gilmore Girls in the fall. I'm just not that type of person. I've also seen the show 3 times in a row. I've rewatched the show with my boyfriend 3 times at this point. So like at this point I don't really need to watch it. We just put it on in the background for like anything that we're doing together. We'll just put it on. So but yeah, I feel like they do that as like a selling point for books, and I really don't like that. If they did that for Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I would say that that's a lot more small town Gilmore Girls kind of vibes, and I read that book at the end of September last month. But this one, I really do feel like it did stay true to its title, and also some people don't love like some of the Christian elements in this book, but honestly, there is literally a content warning on the beginning of this, in the very beginning of this book. Hold on, my boyfriend just texted me. Sorry, he was saying goodnight. I didn't want to not text him back. But it says, cancer, unaliving attempts, domestic violence as told through secondhand account does not appear on page, and religious elements. And I'm Jewish, and honestly, I didn't feel like turned off by like the Christian elements that they were talking about in this. But also I kind of wish it went a little bit further, like with, there was a little bit of like demonic elements in this, but it never really went far enough into it that I kind of wish it did. But I really liked like some of like at the start of every chapter, there's like a baked recipe, like a baked good, and I really, really enjoyed that. Like carrot cake cookies with cream cheese frosting. It's just adorable. But then there's also some really dark things that are discussed in this book, like the main character, Sadie's basically cursed to always have a heartbreak pretty much, and her curse is pretty much unbreakable. And then also her brother's curse is basically he knows like every person he meets, he knows like their deepest thoughts and desires, and then their mother has to stay away from them because she's cursed to basically never be close to anyone. So they all have pretty, like, rough curses that they have to break. But, basically, like, they try to, like, figure that out, like, throughout, like, the middle of the book and stuff. But also, Sadie's grandmother is actually the one that raises her and her brother Seth because her mother is not able to. And the only way that her grandmother can break the curse to let her mother come back to them is, there's like this whole history that I'm not going to go into because it'll spoil it. But basically, someone has to die in order for a curse to be broken. And that's basically how it worked with the first curse that needed to be broken. So Sadie thought that the same thing had to happen with the other curses on her and her brother needed to be broken in this book. That's pretty much the gist of it. And I liked it. I still thought it was very enjoyable, and I don't regret reading this at all. I still think it was pretty good. So, honestly, my least favorite book so far on this vlog has been Murder in the Family, surprisingly. So I still really enjoyed it. So now we're going to move on to the fourth book, which is Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. Honestly, I'm getting a little bit sick of witchy books already, but I haven't even went into a witchy romance yet because The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches was kind of just like very, very low key, cozy fantasy almost, and like a lot of found family. And then this one was very just, it wasn't really that cozy, but I liked like the elements of like baking because it did deal with a lot of elements of depression, and like usually people who are depressed like bake a lot. That is like a trait of some depressed people. I'm not even like making this up. Like if I actually really enjoy baking as well, and whenever I do get the chance to bake something and people like it, it makes me really happy. And it does cheer me up if I'm like sad about something. So just, food in general just cheers people up, and also like the good smells and stuff like that. But yeah, now I'm going to be going into a witchy romance. So this one says there's one hex of an attraction in this romantic comedy. I think I read the synopsises of all of these before I started reading them. So I think I read the synopsises in the intro. So yeah, I'm just going to go into this one. I don't know how long this one's going to take me because this one is actually the second longest book in this, but I wanted to read the other book first because I don't know, I was a bit more intrigued by it because I was like, again, I wasn't really in the mood for romance, but I'm a little in the mood for romance now. So we'll see how it goes. So yeah, I will check in when I'm done. And also I got to wear my ghosty baddie hoodie today because I went to my best friend's house and we did have a Agatha All Along marathon, and we watched like the first 5 episodes. There's 7 episodes out. We got to watch 5, so at least we watched the first 5. And then the last 2 are coming out this Wednesday, I believe, which is the day before Halloween. So we're going to finish it next weekend because I think we have like 4 episodes then to finish. So we'll be all caught up with it, and it's perfect because we're going on a trip with our friends in like 2 weeks, and one of my friends that's going on the trip was asking me to watch it, and I told her I was going to just watch it with my best friend, and we were just going to catch up, so we were going to be able to talk to them about it when we got to the house that we're going to upstate for our trip. So we're so excited. So yeah, that's it. I will check in when I finish this book. So bye. Okay, so hey guys, so I'm just like inserting this clip real quick in between reading Go Hex Yourself and another book. So I was reading Go Hex Yourself, but also I decided to fit in a thriller just because I wanted to binge another one, and also I ended up reading this book and Go Hex Yourself at the same time. I originally recorded one clip and it was way too long. I'm like, why am I recording this that it's so long? So I just wanted to film a really short clip. So I ended up squeezing in Freedom McFadden's Do Not Disturb because it was only going to take me 5 hours to read it, and it just ended up being another Kindle read. I can't believe how many books I finished on Kindle this month. And also then I have, I think, 2 Kindle reads in this vlog and 5 physical books, which that was like the most that I physical books I read in 1 week was in this vlog. Because I read 4 witchy books and Murder in the Family. So I decided to read this book at the same time as Go Hex Yourself, and I will check in with you guys once I finish it. So there we go. That's a short and sweet little clip. Hey guys, so I just wanted to let you guys know that I did finish another book. I'm just going to bring it up really quick because I actually already returned it to Kindle Unlimited because I already finished it, so I just returned it. But I just finished Do Not Disturb by Freedom McFadden. I was really in the mood to finish this one first, so I did. It kind of went in a direction that I didn't really like, and it ended up not really creeping me out or shocking me that much at all. Honestly, after what I said last night, literally after the halfway point, it kind of went in a direction where I was like, this is kind of dumb. So I ended up settling. Can you speak, dummy? I ended up settling. Holy crap. I ended up settling on a 3.75. Can we speak today, Caitlin? A 3.75 out of 5 stars. Wow. Words. So it just went in a direction where I was just like, this is just so predictable. So I ended up figuring out a lot like throughout the second half, and it just lost that kind of like creepy feeling that I got, because I thought it was going to be kind of like haunted motel kind of vibes, and I thought it was going to be where it meant that like the main character like couldn't leave the motel, because that was like the vibe that I was getting in like the beginning of it. And I will say this about Freedom McFadden. Her books usually always start off very strong, and it's always a death or murder that's happened in the first like prologue or the first chapter, and it always gets me hooked and intrigued. And her books take like no time to finish. Like, I already finished this book. I read for like 3 hours yesterday, and then I think I wanted to make sure I had a little under 2 hours to read today, and I don't think it even took me that long to finish today. I think it only took me like an hour and a half. So I just finished it, and I did end up liking this book more than The Teacher, and I wanted to read this book for a while because I am a big watcher of Francesca Reed's. She's one of like the booktubers that I watch a lot, and she's one of the only like thriller booktubers that I watch, because she mostly reads thriller books. She does read a little bit of romance here and there, but very rarely, because she does like reading romance as like palate cleanser sometimes. But she just did, like, I think it was like a couple months ago, she did like a whole ranking of Freedom McFadden's books. I don't know if it was her entire backlist, but it was like 15 books of hers that she has read. So, and I have now read 8 Freedom McFadden books after reading this one, and also reading that short novella that I did. But I actually ended up really enjoying that short novella even more than The Teacher and Do Not Disturb. But I did like the plot of this one more so than The Teacher. And also Francesca Reed's. I'm not going to tell you where this book lands in her top 5, but Do Not Disturb is in her top 5. And I've been kind of wanting to go through her top 5 to see if I really love them. Never Lie and The Housemaid were also in her top 5. And now Do Not Disturb. I don't remember if there was another one that she read that's in her top 5 that I have read as well. I think it was The Housemaid's Secret. Let me just double check. I keep on checking this video because I keep on freaking forgetting what she mentioned. But I think it was The Housemaid's Secret, which I also agree on was very... Oh, no, One by One. I've also read One by One. So I've read 4 out of the 5 books that are in her top 5, which is The Housemaid, Never Lie, Do Not Disturb, and One by One. And I think out of all of them, Never Lie is still my number 1, then The Housemaid, then I think I liked One by One more than Do Not Disturb. So I would definitely say that. One by One was not like my favorite thriller ever, but it still creeped me out quite a bit, and the plot was really intriguing, but then like the last 50 or 75 pages kind of shit hit the fan, but it was very intriguing for most of the time, and I did get creeped out quite a bit. So I did enjoy that book a lot more than Do Not Disturb. But the other book in her top 5 is Ward D, and that's actually the one I'm like the most nervous about reading because I'm not a big like mental institution psych ward kind of thriller person. They kind of creep me out way too much. But honestly, I feel like I need to go out of my comfort zone at this point with thrillers so I can actually be a little bit more creeped out. Like sometimes you just want to be a little scared, you know. But I was feeling creeped out by this book last night, and then this afternoon I'm like, it wasn't that good of a twist. And it ended up being a person, which yes, sometimes in her books she makes it like an unexpected other character that you didn't think it was, and then it's like, oh, it's her that's like actually the big deal. But what I really love about her books sometimes is that you always have this like internal conflict about like the main character, because the main character usually ends up not being like a super innocent person. Like they've either like killed somebody in the book, or they've done some bad things and you have to like figure out what they've actually done. But I love like their justifications on whether or not they're a good person, because they're trying to go after somebody else that actually has murdered or like has been a serial killer killing more people than them. And it's just funny like reading their internal dialogue saying like, well, I did this, but that doesn't make me a bad person, right? Like it's that kind of internal conflict that I really love about her main characters sometimes, that makes them, it kind of humanizes them a lot more, because this is like the constant conflict about criminals that we always think as people that have not committed these acts before. We always like think of like a justification on why a person would do something like that. And we always want to know the reason why like anyone would commit murders or be a serial killer or something like that. So when she does put that internal conflict into her books that her main character goes through, because her main character isn't innocent either, I really, really enjoy that. And I think that's the thing that I enjoy the most about her characters, is that they're not innocent like you think. Like, oh, like just because they got away from like a abusive person, or like they have a horrible husband or something like that, that doesn't mean they're innocent either. So I liked it. It was okay, but I liked it a little bit more than The Teacher. I don't know if I'm going to be able to have time to read any more thrillers this month. I'm just going to read Go Hex Yourself. I'm just going to finish that because I am really enjoying that one, and I think I'm going to give that like a 4 stars at least, because I really am enjoying it a lot. I just wanted something a little bit in between to like get my momentum up about all these witchy books. And then depending on, I think I am going to finish that tonight. I still really want to read it tonight. I still have like 140 pages left, which is not going to be that long. Or actually, I think I have a little bit more, but I'm going to try and read some more this afternoon. And then I think I'm just going to finish off this vlog with the X-Hex. I don't think I'm going to have any more time to read any more books. And also, I kind of just want to finish the X-Hex so I can go into Throne of Secrets by Carrie Maniscalco, because I just bought it on Kindle right after 3 a.m. I hit that buy button because I like literally cannot wait to read it. And I was like, who am I kidding? I still need to buy it on Kindle because I'm still going to read it. But I'm still going to start the audiobook probably tomorrow. but I don't think there's going to be time for any more books. There's also another book on Kindle that's actually really short that I might try and sneak in on the 31st. But I don't want to like binge a book and be like turned off from reading, because like I'd rather just finish the 2 books that I have left and then start Throne of Secrets, and then we'll just finish books in November, because I'm still finishing 2 more books, this book and the X Hex, and then I still will have read 18 books this month, which is the most that I've read, but justify the only reason why I'm reading 18 books is because I read that Frida McFadden novella. Like, that still like doesn't really count as much, but it still counts as a book. So that's the only reason why I read 18 books this month, and then I did listen to 1 audiobook. So that's it. Bye. I'll check in when I finish Go Hex Yourself. So hey there guys, I just wanted to let you guys know that I did just finish Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. I actually ended up finishing 2 books today because, like I said, I was actually reading this and Do Not Disturb on my Kindle at the same time, and I read half of this yesterday, and then I read half of Do Not Disturb yesterday, and then I finished up the second halves of both today. I actually think I had more to read of this book than I did Do Not Disturb. I think Do Not Disturb I only had 120 pages to read. So it wasn't really like, I mean, even though my Kindle said like 52%, it wasn't really like that much more left of the second half. I think I read like maybe 130, 140 pages. This, I think I read like 180 pages today still. So I'm kind of like a little bit reading fatigued right now. I'm not feeling slumpy. I just don't really want to read anymore right now. I need to recharge and stop reading until tomorrow. But I really, really, really enjoyed this. This was really, really fun. This was really fun. This was so funny. I was laughing throughout most of this book, and I think that she writes smut so well. Like, there's really no parts, like, it's a lot of smut, though, in this book. There's quite a bit of smut in this. The only thing I would say is that I kind of feel like this book was not as much as heavy on the romance, and it was way more of like a sexual attraction between both of them. There's nothing wrong with that. The only reason why this wouldn't be like higher than a 4 is because I didn't really feel like the romance between them as much as I did feel like the sexual connection that they had. Like, I still think they had chemistry, and that's still a good thing, but I didn't feel it as strongly as I usually do with like the romance books that I really love. But this was so enjoyable, and I really would like to go into the second one, but I'm not going to go into it until like next Halloween. Or maybe I'll continue it at some point. It doesn't have to be Halloween. It's not like this book is like heavy, like a heavy setting of Halloween in this. Like, I feel like this can be read at any time still, but I probably would read this more so in like the fall and winter time. But it was just so entertaining. It was just such a fun time. So I'm going to give this, I feel like a 4.25 is a little bit high for this, but I did really enjoy it. I was thinking about just giving it a 4 stars, though. It's still a really, really good book. But I'm kind of torn between a 4 and a 4.25. But honestly, this is like the book that I enjoyed the most in this video besides um The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Excuse me, all three of the other books that I read in this video were under 4 stars, but this one's definitely a 4 star. I think I'm gonna say maybe a 4.20. Fuck it, we're giving it a 4.25. I really did enjoy this book a lot. Um, I might change my rating tomorrow and sit on it for a little while, but I thought this was just so entertaining. So basically this is about the main character, Reggie, and the other main character is Ben, and basically she just gets hired to be like a familiar for a witch, and like the witch that wants to hire her like puts like this ad in the paper to get her to apply to this job, but she pretty much figures out that she's like the only applicant that has actually applied for this, and Ben actually lives in the house with this other like 1,000-year-old witch, um and he basically starts they're kind of like, there's a bit of an enemies to lovers trope in this as well, because like she doesn't really like Ben when they first meet, and Ben doesn't like her. Like he thinks that his aunt, he lives with his aunt, which is the witch that needs a familiar, and she becomes his aunt's familiar. But also, he doesn't want her there. Like he doesn't want her working for his aunt. Like he wants her to fire her. But then they end up developing feelings for one another, and that's basically like the whole book. Like I'm not gonna describe anymore. That's just like a general synopsis, but it was just still so enjoyable. I thought it was so funny, and I really enjoyed it. So I forgot to tell you guys like what Do Not Disturb was about. So I'm just gonna give a very, very brief synopsis, because for me, if I give away any more about a thriller book, then it's just like too much of a spoiler. So basically it's about this woman. Oh my God. Her name is Quinn. I can't believe I remembered her name, but I did just read it. But sometimes like read the books that I just read, or I've just recently read, like some of the characters' names just leave me. Oh, also the main character, did I say Reggie? Yes, I did. Never mind. I was like, I already said it. So Quinn basically murders her husband in the beginning of the book, and she has to flee, her home and go on the run. And she stumbles upon this motel that she needs to stay at because the weather starts getting bad, and she's like, I can't drive around with a broken taillight, because this police officer like pulls her over and says she has a broken taillight, but she thought that she was getting pulled over because like they knew that she murdered somebody. Um so basically she finds this motel that she has to stay at, because she's like, I can't drive around with a broken taillight. But as she's staying at this motel, like things start getting weird, and things just start unraveling from there. And that's all I'm really going to say, because but I just wasn't really feeling the thriller aspect in the second half of the book. But the first half of the book was really, really good. Okay, so the last physical book that I think I'm going to be reading, I mean, I'm definitely reading this still. And this might be just my last book of the month, because honestly, this book is super short. It's just super easy. And it's probably just going to be the last book I read, because I have honestly read a shit ton today, yesterday, and the day before. So I don't think I'm going to read too much of this tomorrow. I think I want to read like exactly 150 pages tomorrow, and then another 150 pages on Thursday, just so I can finish this book. And that's it. I don't even know if I'm going to get to the second one, but I think this is going to be the last book in this vlog, which is The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I did say I was going to read this. And this was going to be the book that I read on Halloween. So I'm very, very, very excited for it. I think these are interconnected standalones, so honestly, I don't think that I have to read the sequel. I mean, I really would like to get to this, but at the same time, like, if I don't, I might just get to it like, I might just read it right after this. Because if I don't read this after this, it's going to bother me that I haven't. So we might just end up finishing both of these in this vlog, but this might be finished like November 2nd because I don't think I'm going to binge both of these books. Even though, again, they're only like 300 pages. I need a little break from physical books. I think I'm mostly going to be listening to my audiobook tomorrow because I'm dying to start listening to Throne of Secrets. I'm just waiting for my Audible credit to be active, which it should be active in like 10 minutes. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one. So I will check in when I finish the X-Hex and I will let you know if I'm reading anything else. There's also another book on Kindle that I might binge with the X-Hex. And that is, and I'm just going to show it to you guys real quick. Let me just go to the cover. It's a super short book. It's only a 4-hour book. And that is Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist by Allie. Wow, you can speak. Allie K. Mulford and K.L. Morrison. So I was thinking about kind of throwing that in to potentially be the last book that I read in October. But also, again, like I said, I'm getting a little bit sick of witchy books at this point, and I kind of want to just move on to other books. So if I'm already having to read both of these, I don't know if I'm going to read that one. I might just continue to read Throne of Secrets on my Kindle and listen to it tomorrow and stuff like that. So yeah, that is it. I will check in when I finish the X-Hex. So bye. Hey there guys. So I'm here to review possibly the last book in this video, but I'm actually trying to finish up one more book before I post this because if you guys know, I don't count the last night of the month, regardless if it's midnight or not, as the last day of the month, of the start of the new month, but also, regardless, if I finish the book before I fall asleep, it still counts for the month that I read it in. Like, it's still gonna count for October. I'm almost halfway through and I'm absolutely loving it, but I wanted to review the X-Hex first. So I finished this past afternoon and I really liked it. I thought it was really fun. I think I actually enjoyed the chemistry a little bit more between Vivian and Reese. I thought it was funny. I thought it was the perfect ambiance for Halloween. It had a great atmosphere for Halloween. It was just a funny time, and honestly, like, I thought I was still gonna be getting sick of Halloween books and witchy books, but honestly, this one kind of pulled me out of like a witchy slump because I thought that this was really fun. I think it was just because I read so much that day when I was reading Do Not Disturb and Go Hex Yourself that I was kind of getting a little bit tired of witchy books, but I think I was just getting tired of reading in general. So I read quite a bit of this, but I also listened to a little bit of it. I mostly read the majority of this, though. I think I read over 200 pages of this. I might have only listened to maybe 50 pages or so. So, like, I did mostly read this physically, and I really did enjoy it. It was just such a perfect, super short read, but also, like, since I had read so much, like, the 2 days before I started this, this was, like, the perfect read for me right now because it was just super light, super fun, super short. It was only 300 pages, so this was exactly what I was in the mood for because I'm like, I don't think I can take anything that's not like witchy romance right now, and this was perfect. So I gave it a 4 stars. I thought it was really fun. I don't think it's anything like too memorable, but I did have a good time, and that, again, that's all that matters when I'm reading. So yeah, I really liked it. I think I'm going to get to the Kiss Curse probably early November because I really do want to read the second book before Wedding Witch because I am planning to read the Wedding Witch in December. So maybe I'll just read the Kiss Curse like in between all the fantasy books that I'm planning to read in November. Maybe it's just a little palate cleanser, but at least I'll read that one. But I'm not going to read witchy books after this for probably like a good 2 weeks. Maybe I'll read it like mid-November just to, get it out of the way. But also, like, this is enjoyable enough for me to continue it. And also, after I finished Go Hex Yourself, I really wanted to go into the second book because I really liked that book too. And I was like, crap, I wish that I would have started these like a little bit earlier because then I could have had time to finish both of them. Like, the Kiss Curse was in this video for me to finish, but then I decided to binge a Frida McFadden book instead. But I was like, I really just wanted to get another thriller in before the month was over and before Halloween was over, but I still wasn't really that scared. But this was just such a good atmospheric fall read. And I think it deserves a little bit more than what people are saying because sometimes people cope with sex than communicating about something. Like, honestly, miscommunication tropes are a little bit annoying, but at the same time, like in this book, it didn't annoy me enough in order for it to lower the rating. Because, you guys, miscommunication is so real and people don't really understand that sometimes. Like, I know some people are like, just talk to each other. And sometimes it's like, well, it's hard for people to communicate things, especially your ex. Like, are you kidding me? But I thought it was really cute. I think I really enjoyed their chemistry a bit more than in Go Hex Yourself. But I also forgot to say that Go Hex Yourself really reminded me of My Roommate is a Vampire. I don't know if I said that already when I was reviewing it last night. I forgot. Correct me if I'm wrong, but also it is Halloween night, so happy Halloween. And I'm wearing my little Pikachu pumpkin shirt. I wore my Nightmare Before Christmas sweatshirt earlier today, and then I wore my Hocus Pocus t-shirt to work, of course. I had to work tonight, but I'm going out Saturday, and you guys will see what my costume is. And then I wore my Pikachu shirt tonight. So yeah, I really liked it. It was really cute. Basically, Vivian curses her town, but she intended to curse her ex. And then her ex has to come back to basically help her break the curse of not just on him, but also on the town. So that's pretty much what this story is about. But they also cope with like all the problems that they have in the town with basically, having sex. But sometimes, again, some people just don't want to talk. And honestly, there's nothing wrong with that if you especially if you have a sexual attraction to somebody. Like, sometimes people cope with their problems that way. And sometimes it's a little bit easier than it is to talk to somebody. Like, I know it's so important to talk about a problem, but it's not a big enough turn off for me to be like, oh my God, like this. Because it's actually a little bit more realistic in that way sometimes. And I don't think it was childish or anything like that. And I'm saying this because I just saw that Books with Emily Fox just read this as well. A lot of people are reading this Halloween. So I'm actually happy that I waited to read this the last week of, literally the last day of the last day of October. I also have to take down my October Halloween bookshelf and put up my November TBR up there. So I think I'm going to do that now. It's not going to take me that long. But anyway, I really enjoyed this. So, but she said that kind of annoyed her about the book. And I was like, it didn't really bother me enough. There's some books where the miscommunication is just too much. And sometimes I'm like, talk to each other. But in this book, I didn't really feel that way. I just thought it was kind of understandable with all the problems that were happening. I'm sometimes you just don't want to talk about it. So I don't know. I still enjoyed it. So I need to turn this light down. This is way too bright right now. So now I don't know if I'm probably going to finish this for this video, but I don't know if I'm going to finish it tonight. I only have an hour and 45 minutes left though. So I probably will finish it tonight. I just will probably have to stay up till 3 to finish it. But I'm taking a break right now, and then I'm probably just going to binge it I want to be back in bed by like 1:20 the latest so I can just stay up and finish it. So the one that I'm reading, and I didn't realize this came out super recently, so it actually counts as a new release this month too. And that is Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist by Allie K. Mulford and K.L. Morrison. This is hysterical so far, and I'm really vibing with this, and it's only 210 pages. So that's why I decided to read this one, and I'm reading it on my Kindle right now. That's why I'm showing you guys my phone. But I'm really liking it so far, and I just saw like how short it was, and I'm like, perfect. I'll pick a short, quick 200-page book to end the month with. And squeezing in one more Halloween read was perfect. And I think that the vibes are vibing so hard with this book right now because it is so perfect to read now. Because I know if I waited to read this or if I waited to read any of these Halloween books that were super priority for me, I was not going to get to them until next year. Like, I don't really feel the same way about the Go Hex Yourself series. I feel like I could read that anytime because it's not like taking place on Halloween exactly. But the X Hex is, and mostly Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist is. But also I feel like Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist should get more hype than the Pumpkin Spice Cafe because I think it's better written. I still enjoyed the Pumpkin Spice Cafe, but this is so good so far. And like all the Halloween vibes are vibing and I'm really enjoying it. So I will review it in this video. I'm hoping I finish it to count in my October reading wrap up. Oh my God, it's literally November 1st now. But I should finish it, and then that means I will have read 19 books in October, and that is the most that I've read in 1 month. That would be fucking insane. So, and I already started my 20th book because I am reading Throne of Secrets now by Carrie Maniscalco. I'm mostly listening to the audiobook because I could not wait to listen to that audiobook, but and I used my Audible credit for it. So I'm going to stop rambling and I'm going to try and finish this book before tomorrow, which is when I wake up. So yeah, bye for now, and I'll check in when I finish it, regardless if I finish it tonight or tomorrow morning. So that's still tomorrow for me. So bye. Okay, so hey there guys. So I just wanted to let you guys know the last book that I finished in this vlog. Unfortunately, I didn't finish it last night because I just got way too sleepy. But I did read like pretty much, I was 60% of the way through by the time I went to sleep. So I still got a pretty decent amount of it read yesterday, but I don't feel like there was any way that I was going to be able to finish it last night because I was just too sleepy. Also, I carved pumpkins with my mom and my brother, so we could have our jack-o'-lanterns out. And then we did watch the baking show. If I didn't do those things with my family, then I probably would have been able to finish this book, but it's not a huge deal because then it's still, I already finished a book in November. So it's like, it already counts for this month. It's the 1st of November and I already finished a book. So we did finish Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist by Allie K. Mulford and K.L. Morrison. I really, really loved this. This was really good. I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I think that this book deserves way more hype than it actually has. I'm holding it up on my phone because I returned it on Kindle Unlimited already. But I think everyone should read this fall. I don't really read a lot of sapphic romances either, and I really would like to read more because, I'm like for all kinds of love. I've always been like that. I think it's like so stupid that people like hate on other people for loving who they love. Like, who are you to dictate who we love? Like, it's ridiculous. But anyway, I just loved the atmosphere of this. So basically, and it was so perfect for Halloween. And it's such a short Halloween read. I really wish that I would have posted this before Halloween, but I didn't know how many books I was going to finish in this video. But I think I ended up finishing like 7 books. But I really need to go. I might just finish up my thoughts later because I need to get dressed because I need to head to a doctor's appointment. But I just wanted to say I really enjoyed this. So basically Lou is like the ghost that what is her name? Jordan summons her ex, and her ex Lou is kind of just like hanging around because she has unfinished business because she died all of a sudden in like a tragic car accident. But it turns out that there's kind of a little bit of like a cozy murder mystery element to this, which was also really good too. So it was kind of like sapphic romance / cozy murder mystery, like a little bit, but I felt like the murder mystery was done better in this. Like it was not too much of the plot. It was kind of just like a hint of murder mystery in this. I think it was done way better than the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And I think that this book deserves just as much hype as the Pumpkin Spice Cafe is getting, because I think this one is better. I still really enjoyed the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. There was elements in there that was really, really funny, and I really enjoyed it still, but this book is really good. And like I said, I didn't even realize it just came out in September. So like I said, it's another new release under my belt. And it only takes 4 hours to read this. So it's only not even 215 pages. So it's super short. And basically a new girl comes to town and her name is Harlow. And, Jordan ends up like really crushing on her, and then they end up developing a romance. And it was just so funny because like the town is like basically like Halloween Town in like book form, where there's like vampires and witches and demons and mermaids. It's just like, it was just such a perfect atmospheric read for Halloween. So when I come back later, I will rank all the books from my favorite to my least favorite, but I honestly think this was my favorite book that I read in this vlog, which is crazy because it's so short, but I felt like the romance was not rushed and the atmosphere was so perfect for this time of year, but also the romance was so well done as well. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I will rank the books later. I need to go. I needed to get dressed to get out of here. So bye. Okay, so hey guys, so I'm back home from everything that I had to do today, from the doctor's appointment and from seeing my friend. I actually went out twice today. So I had a pretty busy day. But I almost forgot that I was going to rank these books for you guys. So let's go ahead and do that. But I ended up reading a total of 18 books in this, not 18 books in this vlog, 7 books in this vlog, but 6 of those were read in October. Pumpkin Spice Poltergeist, I finished November 1st on like literally 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we are going to rank the ones that I read. So recap first of the books that I read. So we read Murder in the Family, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, The Unbreakable Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic, Do Not Disturb, Go Hex Yourself, The X-Hex, and The Pumpkin Spice Poltergeist. So number 7 is definitely going to be Murder in the Family by Kara Hunter, and I feel really bad putting that at the bottom, but honestly, it was only a 3 stars for me. It just wasn't that good. I just really didn't feel much suspense in it, and I honestly felt like even though it was fast-paced, I almost felt like it was a little bit too long, because even though it was an interview format and it was very fast-paced to get through, it was still 465 pages. And that's actually the longest book that I read in this video. But again, it was super easy to get through because of the format. And I really did enjoy that. But the story was not compelling enough for me in order for me to really give it any of a higher rating than that. So unfortunately, that was number 7. And then number 6 was Do Not Disturb, honestly, because I don't know, I was just really disappointed with the thrillers that I read in this video. So we read 5 witchy books and 2 thrillers, and it just, again, it started off really strong, and it only ranks above Murder in the Family because I really liked the first half of it. I was really intrigued and compelled by the first half, and then the second half just kind of fell flat for me. But I feel like that with kind of most of the Frida McFadden books I've read at this point, or for the past 3 that I've read after Never Lie, because Never Lie is still my all-time favorite book from her and one of my all-time favorite thrillers ever. And this one just fell flat. So this one was a 3.75, and I think that's still a a good ranking for it. It was going to be a 4-star if it didn't go in the direction that I thought it did. And then number 5 was The Unbreakable Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic by Brianne Randall. I actually really did enjoy this, more so than people thought. I thought it was a good vibe. I just thought, like, again, the last like 50 pages or so were pretty repetitive, and I was just like, we can already like wrap this story up. But I really did like the vibes of it. I really did enjoy the story, and I really did like that it tackled some depression and mental health issues and everything, but also it was a really good witchy story. So again, I gave that a 3.75 as well, just because the last like 50 pages could have been wrapped up a little bit faster, because we like already knew what was going to happen. So it was just like a little bit predictable, and it didn't have to be like, it could have been like maybe 20 to 30 pages shorter than it was, but I still really liked it. I really liked the cozy vibes of it, because it had like little recipes at the beginning of each chapter, which I thought was really cute as well. But also I took a little bit off for it because the Gilmore Girls retelling, or people that are fans of Gilmore Girls and also of the Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, it's not really like that. I mean, there is strong family aspects in this, but it's not as cozy as the Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So that will appear in just a minute. Okay, so that was number 5. And then number 4 was the, right, 4, 3, 2, yeah. 4 was The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling. I still really enjoyed it. I thought the vibes were really good for Halloween. I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was really funny. And I actually liked the chemistry a little bit more between them than in Go Hex Yourself, but I did like the story of Go Hex Yourself a little bit more. It was still a fun, fast-paced, entertaining, funny read, so I gave it a 4 stars. And then number 3 was Go Hex Yourself. I don't have to say the whole synopsis of these books again, because I already told you guys. But number 3 was Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. I thought this book was hilarious. And it was just really funny between, I don't know. I just thought it was a really fun time. And again, the vibes were so good for Halloween. So I gave it a 4.25. I just liked the number 2 and number 1 books a little bit more. I think I'm going to change I don't know. Because a lot of these books are tied. It's just like based on story, but also we didn't find one 5-star in this video, which is crazy, because it's like, this is the first reading vlog that I actually didn't find a 5-star. So yeah, that was number 3. And then number 2, I don't know if I want to put this one at number 2 or number 1, because these both are like so close. But I did give Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist a little bit of a higher rating. They're both so good, though. I think I'm just gonna keep it as it was. I think my ratings are what I'm gonna keep it as. So number 2 is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. I can't believe I actually remembered all the authors' names in this, because I did not write them down. I'm like literally just saying them word of mouth right now. I think this was such a perfect, cozy, witchy read. Like I said on the beginning, on the front cover, I've never felt that a blurb is more descriptive of a book than this one. It says a warm hug of a witchy book. And I'm like, that's exactly what it is. Like, when you read it, it was just, it did tackle a lot of like mental health issues, kind of like The Unbreakable Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic, but it like did it in a way that was just so beautifully written, and also like impacted you, but also like it didn't sadden you as much as The Unbreakable Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. I'm not saying like those things are happy things to talk about, because they're not. But at the same time, I felt like The Secret Society of Irregular Witches, just the coziness of that was just written better than The Unfortunate Side Effects of Heartbreak and Magic. And I just loved the found family in The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. So I really, really loved that book. So that's why that one is number 2. And then number 1 is Pumpkin Spice and Poltergeist. I'm just going to put it at number 1. I really think that it wasn't just because I think that this was my favorite Halloween book. I mean, that's a big reason, and maybe I'm a little biased, but also, like, I just loved everything about it. I thought it was so funny. I really liked the murder mystery elements of this book. And I think I said before that I think that this book did it better than Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and I think that this book should be more well known. I have to look up the authors' names for this book, though, because it is 2 authors. But I'm like, if they... And it's supposed to be a series, so I'm really hoping they come together for the second book as well, because it was so well written. There was just, like, one thing that irked me about it, but overall, I thought it was great. So it's by Allie K. Mulford and K.L. Morrison. I just thought it was just so good. I loved the romance. I loved all the vibes of the Halloween town. I loved the murder mystery element. And it was hysterical. It was so freaking funny. But I felt like more chemistry between them than out of all of the romance books that I read. Because, like, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, like, the romance plot is... more of a subplot, but I felt the romantic connection between them so much stronger than in some of the other books. I felt like Go Hex Yourself and the Ex-Hex were a lot more of like a sexual attraction, which again there's nothing wrong with that, but in order for me to really feel the romance, I need like all of the elements. And I feel like they did it so well in this book. So I gave this one a 4.5, and I'm going to stick with that because I really, really liked this. And I think that people who want a great, fast Halloween read, this book is perfect for you. I loved it. I thought it was so good. It is a sapphic romance, so if you're not into that, maybe you won't like it, but I could care less. I want to read more sapphic romances at this point because I'm all for it. So, yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram at CBW819 and check out my Poshmark at the same handle. I need to go because I've been rambling for forever. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I think I did a pretty good job of reading Halloween books this month. Like I said, I did finish 10 of them, and that's all that matters. And I finished 7 of them in this video. Let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I actually finished 12. Okay. Even though Do Not Disturb was not on my TBR, neither was The Teacher, I'm still going to add them because they were still thrillers. So we actually ended up reading like almost 14. So I'll take that. We just didn't read the rest of my physical books that were on my Halloween TBR, which was like maybe like 13. So I'll work those in eventually to the next few months. So yeah, that's it. Bye.